We're going to watch. Thank you very much to Gus Fork for helping out in the video department today. How about those Cleveland Guardians? Having better luck so far with the Detroit Tigers than they did when they were in Detroit. 4-0 was the final last night. They'll play the second of 4 today. 7:10 is the first pitch tonight at Progressive Field. Detroit, Cleveland, on your FM home for Cleveland Guardians baseball. 100.7 WMMS The Buzzard. And as we're halfway through the month, you can use the promo code FIREWORK for 20% off. CLE Clothing Company. I posted something on, it had to have been, might have been a Corey Roddick repost on my Instagram story for CLE Clothing Company. And I added the tag and, tagged them in it rather. Mm-hmm. Hey, use Firework, 20% off. And somebody messages me, where do I get this?
What?
Well, and because I'm a nice guy.
You can't.
In addition to being Captain Fun, I'm a nice guy, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people think otherwise. I'm unfailingly polite. And so I almost begin to reflexively respond. And I go, what the? Delete. What do I got to hold your hand through everything? We got to walk you through this valley of sadness? Come on, man. But the Guardians will play tonight. I heard from one of our bureau chiefs in Seattle. We have a lot of them there. The Mariners, maybe you're a Mariners fan, but you don't even live in the Pacific Northwest. They've won 11 straight. Whoa. Mariners are doing great.
Mariners are doing great. How are the Orioles doing? Are they still... Is that win streak still going? Probably not.
Don't know about that. Not sure. Normally, Cal Ripken will post something about his most recent play or whatever, but the Mariners haven't won 11 straight games in a long time. So it's very exciting.
Orioles are up to a 10-game win streak.
Hey, so how about that? Yeah, so it's very exciting there. Seattle's a fantastic city. That team is dynamite. It's Jay Buhner. It's who else? It's A-Rod.
What is it? Ken Griffey
It's
Jr.?
a big, yeah. Ichiro Suzuki, is he still with the Mariners?
No.
A-Rod, is he still? Is Alex Rodriguez still with the Mariners?
He is not.
Oh,
not for 20 years.
All right, 20 years.
Yeah.
They came from behind last night, boy. 11th straight win. It is their second longest streak in franchise history, by the way. So if you're a Seattle Mariners fan, and listen. You got more competition sports-wise there now with the Kraken in town. So,
in a couple of years, I believe the Supersonics are going to be back, too.
There you go. It's a very, very exciting Seattle Storm. Maybe you want to see WNBA. You got the Seattle Storm. Nothing wrong with that. I'm watching this thing on Paramount Plus called The Offer. Have you heard of The Offer? It's been on for a little bit, I guess, but I forgot that it was on, so I just started it. It's a fictionalized account of the making of the movie The Godfather.
Yes, okay.
So it's Miles Teller, it's Juno Temple. Everybody, it's an all-star cast. Everybody in it is playing a real person. And I'm fascinated by those kinds of movies. But what I can't get around is they've got a kid playing Al Pacino, and he's talking like this the whole time because it's early 70s Pacino. I don't know what comic does the evolution of Pacino thing, where he's like, he started out like this, and now he's like, hoo-ah, hoo-ah, his voice dropped or whatever. But this kid that they had to have cast him. He looks kind of like Pacino, because in the telling of the making of The Godfather, it was a very difficult film to get going because the mafia itself wanted to shoot this thing dead, because the book was a huge success, and so they start making a movie of it, but all the producers are getting threatened by members of the New York crime families and blah, blah, blah. But the guy that they have, and I don't even know who the kid is. He doesn't look... Everybody else in this movie I've seen before. Never seen this kid that plays Al Pacino. But it's an interesting kind of... I was looking at Harrison Ford just turned 80 years old. And some people consider him kind of one of our last legit... gold-plated movie stars is Harrison Ford. Part of that old guard, right? Like, the age of the movie star is kind of gone. Like, there are celebrities, but now when everyone can be some degree of celebrity, the movie star thing, they're not unattainable anymore. You can tweet at them every thought that,
You know when that's going to turn around?
When Mary Santora becomes a movie star.
Right.
We need a new
2023.
Right. We need a new Dorothy Lamour is what we need. We need a new Greta Garbo. We need a new
Mayor. Like Madonna, I'm dropping the rest of it. I'm just going to be mayor. See that new...
After everything you've seen about being like a celebrity just by being a part of the radio show, you're not worried about being famous and having something you said or did come back to bite you?
Well, I mean, we've seen it. Bill was just talking about this yesterday, weren't you? When it was like, who's actually canceled? Roseanne, right?
Yeah.
It's like when people, you just got to lay
again,
low.
if she wanted to come back, she could.
Yeah.
And also, Mary will find that audience. She's already out there. Sex?
What?
What are you doing?
The foot pics.
No, not that. But like, she's the sex defender.
Oh God.
She's
Fish
pro-Nazi.
detective.
Fish detective.
Yeah.
So she's got
If
got
anything
her
were to
lane.
happen.
She's got her lane, and there's a lot of money to be made from that lane.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
there's-
and a lot of competition in the, I don't want to say cool things about Hitler, but it's a lot of competition these days in that. Everybody's racing to the bottom.
What does Alan always say? Your audience finds you.
It's true. Your audience finds
So
you.
if there's other, I don't want to support Hitler,
Now,
but
you are still
In the age of social media, you never have to go looking for your audience.
you are still for women's rights, which you're probably going to have to cut that out
I can't. Okay, you're right.
to appeal to
she'll
the
be famous
audience
in
that you're
Canada.
cultivating.
Yeah. I posted a video talking about people who were late to a show because of Roe vs. Wade protests, and some guy commented on it, and he misspelled uterus
The way he spelled
so
uterus.
badly.
Where was this?
This was on TikTok. He posted it, commented on TikTok, and he was basically saying like, murder is illegal just because you have a uterus doesn't put you above the law. But he
it does.
spelled it Utirious.
Utirious.
Uteriorous.
Yeah.
There was too many R's,
Even I'm
too
not
many
that bad.
I's. And I just was laughing because I'm like, dude, you can't even spell it right.
Should have aborted some of them vowels, son.
Come on, man. But so what I'm saying is there's people like him that I could just flip the switch on. So you know what? You're right. My Uteriorous
Yeah.
is barren.
Well, yeah. But I was reading this. I only mentioned Harrison Ford because I was reading this fascinating article, fascinating to me. I love stories of what movies people turn down. Now, if Mary gets famous enough, she will, she'll have the opportunity to say no.
I'm not saying no to
That's what everybody
anything.
wants. But, right, initially you don't. But
No, I never will.
But everybody wants to get to a point where you get to say no to things, right?
Yeah.
I was many, many, many years into my career before I started saying no to things. But it's a nice place to get to where you say, no, thank you. I'm not going to do that anymore. But Die Hard. This was an article on the movie Die Hard, which I didn't know came from a book. There was a book.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And it's a sequel,
Yeah, the book is a sequel. It was called Nothing Lasts Forever.
which there was a movie that was starring, I believe, Charlton Heston?
Really?
Yes. I think
Did you read the same article, or you already know that?
I know
You-
Die Hard stuff
Okay.
for some reason.
So do you know that basically everyone in Hollywood in the 80s who was a big deal turned down Die Hard? Like Bruce Willis was the very
Yeah.
last guy they went to.
I know
Everyone
this.
turned down Die Hard.
Because there's a TV show on Netflix called
Movies That Made Us?
Movies That Made Us, and they did an episode on Die Hard.
Oh, okay.
And I believe they had to offer the part to Charlton Heston, legally, because of
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
That's what it is. Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Because he was in the first film.
It's
And
Die
then they-
Hard, baby.
But he was 73 at the time.
Yeah.
So they're like, look, we have to do this contractually. Obviously, he's going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been great if he had said yes and just screwed them. Frank Sinatra, Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Clint Eastwood turned it down. Paul Newman, all these guys. Schwarzenegger. He goes,
Yippee-ki-yay.
Schwarzenegger's like, this is too close to all the other stuff I'm doing. Stallone turned it down. Richard Gere. They really, really wanted Richard Gere in Die Hard. They want him so much, they kept ratcheting up the money they were willing to pay him, and he kept saying no. And Mel
I think
Gibson
that-
said no,
I
and
think
Kurt
that
Russell
is the
said
right
no.
thing. I don't think Kurt Russell, I feel like, could have pulled it up. I feel like it would have been campier with him just because of how Kurt Russell acts.
Yeah.
But Richard Gere, he's almost too genuine of a person. Like, he doesn't have, like, he's got charm, but he doesn't have, like, the kind of chip on his shoulder like
Doesn't have any hard edges.
Bruce Willis. Yeah. Bruce Willis was the perfect casting. So for all that stuff to not happen, that worked out great because Can you imagine anybody else in that role in the first one?
No.
It's so perfect.
Al Pacino turned it down too. He said, "I'm not a very good judge of what's good." So he goes, he said that he gave Bruce Willis his career because he turned down Die Hard. Because he also turned down Han Solo. Al Pacino was like, "I don't understand anything that's going on in this space movie script." So he turned down Han Solo, and of course it went. Because every gig that anyone gets is because unless you're the very first person that they go to, and that's rare. Every gig you get is because somebody else said no thank you. But everybody of that era turned Die Hard down. Don Johnson, MacGyver turned it down. You know, Jimmy Caan turned it down. So when they finally get to Bruce Willis, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. It looks like fun. Mm-hmm. Am I the first one you came to? I mean, not the first one we came to, but you were on our list. All that double talk.
I don't think he cared that he wasn't first because he wasn't a movie star yet.
Right.
He was still.
He had done one movie. He had done, I think, one movie. He had done Blind Date was his
Yeah.
first movie with Kim Basinger.
And he was on Moonlighting at the time, right?
Yep.
He
Simple
made
Shepherd.
the jump.
Alan Cox Show After Hours line. For people who want to leave us voicemails, you can. It's 216-986-8903.
Alan, on the subject of scary movies that you guys were talking about the other day, I would like to throw this into the ring. Cannibal Holocaust, circa 1980. Think Mary would love it. Now, the mud wrestling and the human gummy bear scenes will be left to your discretion. However, there were 3 distinct scenes involving animals that I do not think were fake or unscripted at all. Check it out. I think she'll love it.
Awesome Holocaust.
Mary, do not watch Cannibal Holocaust.
It sounds like no. It sounds like it would eat people.
This is a wild movie because it was banned in a lot of countries. It was an Italian film that I think ended up getting banned in its own country because people thought it was a real documentary. It was arguably like the first found footage film of this group of researchers that go into the Amazonian rainforest, you know, and then other people go in to locate them. Eli Roth did a thing called The Green Inferno a few years ago that was kind of along those lines, but with kind of more updated, super, super gory stuff. But Cannibal Holocaust, they I think, killed real animals or something in it. Or something.
Man.
But so many people were convinced that it was an actual documentary that people were losing their goddamn minds. Do not watch Cannibal Holocaust.
I have a dumb question.
There are no dumb questions. They're just dumb people asking them.
It's fine. I'll
Go
be
ahead.
a dumb person asking this question. Are there...
I'll need an equally dumb answer to give you, though, so tread lightly.
There are cannibals, right?
I'm
They're
sure, yeah.
groups of people who eat human flesh.
I believe so.
Where do they get it?
Each other.
Seriously?
That's why those tribes don't last so long.
But
Because
I'm asking, for real. Are there tribes of indigenous people living in forests like that? Or are there, cannibal communities in modern society? Like underground cannibalism? I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Not in modern society.
How do we know, though? Is there, a fight club of cannibalism? I think, is my question.
I mean, listen, cannibal, you mean human cannibals?
Human
Because there are
cannibal.
animal cannibals.
No.
Okay.
Human cannibals. When you think cannibal, you think eating human flesh.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there, people who do that? That's how they...
There's absolutely people who do that.
Where do they get the flesh?
I think they have nefarious ways of doing it.
Dark web? Is this what the dark web is for?
Maybe. And then
I mean, probably
think
not in the
there's-
Amazonian rainforest.
Yeah, I don't think
Well,
it's...
I mean, in modern...
Yeah.
There's probably still some tribes that are doing it, but I think there's probably people that are just into it, and they, it's been things that serial killers have done in the past, and there's people out there doing it for sure.
60 Minutes did a thing a few years ago on what they said was the last cannibal tribe in the world. It was in Papua New Guinea. And it was these people who believed that evil spirits could take people over. Like in this country. But these were people who thought that evil spirits could take people over, and so it was their responsibility to kill and eat those people to maintain some kind of stasis in the community.
Wouldn't you eat the evil spirit then?
No, it's not perfect.
I don't know.
Or you release it from its fleshy prison?
I don't know. Don't know. These people aren't even out there making clothes. They're too
Yeah.
worried about evil spirits.
Do you ever wonder what a person tastes like?
Sure.
Like
Chicken,
yeah,
from
but
what I've heard.
I heard on a podcast, someone believed that their dad was a cannibal and had served them human flesh, and they sold it the way they tell the story, as it
Where would
tasting
you get that
ham-like
information from?
and being
Ham-like?
very good.
You just turned Mary Santora onto
Dude,
something.
you
If humans
can't.
are mostly ham and beings,
split ham and bean soup.
yep.
Dude, I don't know. I was just thinking like that's got to be, because you always say, there's something for everybody. Everybody's got a thing. I wonder if
What would
there's
you do,
some.
Mary, if you walked in, like if you were in your basement and you just stumbled upon a body that one of your family members was getting ready to eat?
I don't know,
Would
man.
you turn that person in?
Well, yeah. Or I don't know. Well, are they going to come after me? Is this like a violent situation?
I don't know.
Or
If
are
they eat
they
that
just like,
person, they might
hey,
eat you too.
Please don't tell on me. I'm your sister. You can't tell on me. I'm like, bro, you got to go to jail. You're killing and eating people.
You gotta go to jail.
You're killing and eating people. Like, you can't just be my sister after that. Like,
Well, you got these you got these German dudes who were on Craigslist, who wanted to be killed. There's this big story from a few years ago of this guy that got put on trial for killing a dude, but he's like, which is still a capital offense. You still killed a person.
Right.
But the person fully consented
Even if
to
it's
it.
consensual, it's still
Right.
yeah.
He's like, look, this guy put an ad out there. I want, as part of some sexual thing, he's like, I want to be eaten.
That's dedication.
And it started with, like, I think flaying some skin off of him or something, but it was a whole thing. It's pretty wild.
so the person, okay, so if I put it in my will or whatever, that
Everybody
I want
here's
to,
got to eat me.
I want to die. No, I mean, like, I want to die by being murdered. I want someone to stab me to death.
First of all,
and I write it and sign it and get it notarized.
No, it would still, I don't think so. I mean, you could.
It's my body.
But you could kill yourself and achieve the same ends. There's also.
That's not what I want. I want
think
to be
there's
brutally
also.
murdered. That can't be
I don't-
illegal.
I don't know.
If I have a notarized document saying
I want to be brutally murdered.
right?
Well, you're not doing anything illegal, but I don't think.
But he's got the
even with
proof.
consent.
you can't murder people.
can't murder
There's no
people.
they
consensual
would think
murder.
that you're mentally ill. That's what they would
Oh.
What if you're sweetly murdered? Would that be in defiance of your will? Because you specified brutally
Yes.
murdered.
Like if he caressed me, he was singing me Jack Johnson. while
And
I slit
everybody's
my
got a
throat.
different idea what that is. Some people
Yeah.
think words are violence.
And also, what you can do is just do the old-fashioned suicide by cop.
Just go get shot.
Yeah,
Well, doing what?
that's up to you.
Okay.
You decide how you want to get murdered by them.
Run around in blackface. It'll happen eventually.
Sure.
Hello,
No,
who's
then
this?
Someone will be like, that was funny.
Hey, Alan.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's Woody.
Hey, Woody.
Hey, Woody. Hey, you're talking about cannibalism, and I don't, I'm just driving home from a long day at work. Is it true or not to this day and age that if you are like, not necessarily shipwrecked, but stranded at sea in a rowboat or something, that it's technically legal to cannibalize your if someone dies on your lifeboat?
I don't know if it's because you didn't kill them ostensibly. I mean, I don't know what the legalities are. Everybody remembers that movie Alive about the soccer team that crashed in the Andes and that eat each other, and you're trying to stay alive. I mean,
for some reason, I swear I read that in like maritime law, there's also some goofy maritime laws that back in the day that if you're stranded in a your ship goes down, you're in a lifeboat, and one guy dies, it's not a sin or against the law to eat the guy.
I don't know. I don't know what the legalities of that are, Woody. I don't know, but I would imagine the fact that you sound desperate to find out tells me something that maybe I should keep one eye open on you.
I'm looking forward to the booze cruise or something.
Yeah, aren't we all? Yeah, I don't know. Good luck out there, Woody. Be careful. I just remember when I was a kid. Remember the Cannibal Soup kids? Good. That told you something that you couldn't unhear. I got tickets for you if you want to go see the Cleveland Orchestra. They're showing Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring out at Blossom. 22nd through the 24th. I'll get you tickets for that Saturday performance. Cleveland Orchestra performs the film soundtrack live for Lord of the Rings. So it's Saturday, July 23rd out at Blossom. You can go to clevelandorchestra.com for the details. If you are caller 10, I'll give you these right here. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.